Common Core. What is it? Is this the type of education our country needs? In this video, OWL Magazine speaks with parents, union leaders, teachers, and concerned citizens about the variety of perspectives surrounding the Common Core standards.
It's been created more by think tanks than evolved through trial and error. That's one of the fundamental differences of Common Core and really any of the modern education programs, is that it's been designed instead of evolved. And so the issue is the systems of education that they had in ancient times, or even just before the Industrial Revolution, were based on systems that had evolved over time and had proven their merit because of the people who were produced out of it.
Common Core really is just a set of standards of what we want kids to be able to do ideally at any particular grade level.
There's a cancer that's within the education system nowadays that has to be eradicated, and you have to get back to the basics.
That higher level thinking. They learn higher level thinking with Common Core, and we weren't reaching that before.
Businesses suddenly realize, like, this is a great way to make money. And coming from somebody who wanted to educate children, I did it because I had a passion for it. I don't want to have to be teaching based on companies being able to make money. I want to teach because I want the students to be able to learn.
It isn't a curriculum. It isn't a defined, specific, you must teach this on this day. Those things are all determined by individual school districts and by the State Department of Education.
My daughter came home and drew some configuration that I had no clue what it was. She has this thing, a tic-tac-toe board, basically, to start drawing lines through it. What are you doing? Well, I'm multiplying. That's not how you multiply. She said, no, that's how you do it. That's not how you do it. You do it the old-fashioned way, Dad. That doesn't work. Yes, it works. It's worked for millennia. So you're going to do it this way. I can't. I'll get a wrong score. I'll get a bad grade. And the kids are freaking out about it. They're losing their mind saying, well, if I don't do it the way the teacher says, my parents, the teacher's right, the teacher's right. No, the teacher's not right. This program is abysmal.
When you're older, when you're like at the grocery store, are you going to be able to sit there drawing your little X's to figure out how much you have to pay and all that kind of stuff and how much change you're going to get back? Because that matters.
The difference between the way I was taught in the 70s and 80s and the way we're teaching kids now is we used to be taught 1 + 1 is 2, and that's why, and you rotely memorize it, rewrite it, redo it, and you do it this way every single time. So now kids are given models that represent what the algorithm means, and for me at least, the reckoning of this came in a teaching mathematics class where I flat out said to the instructor, look, if I had been taught math this way, I might be an architect right now. I might not have been so turned off on math that it was just this constant, just do it this way because I said so kind of idea. We need folks to understand why things work.
This is just the natural progression of No Child Left Behind, which was wrong. I understand the concept of what it was trying to do, trying to make sure everybody was up to the same standards, which is supposedly what Common Core was supposed to teach them. Everybody is, no matter what state, if you move, if you go here, if you miss jump, you can pop in and just pick up, drop, plop, you're good. You're all on the same page. I understand that concept. That's not what has happened politically. The No Child Left Behind, some kids need to be left behind because they don't understand what they're doing. You need to spend extra time with them to help them. So once you start putting government and money into these things, then the impetus is not, let's help the individual, let's get these numbers up, get everything moving, move along, nothing to see here, keep the checks and the money rolling.
The drawbacks have come about because of the implementation process. So I think for Common Core, for any new curriculum that's very different to work, you need to start with it in kindergarten or first grade, and then gradually, as those children age up through the school system, adopt at higher and higher grades. So you're not asking a 5th grader to suddenly start the new curriculum when they haven't had the prerequisite teaching. When you use that kind of system, though, you have to be patient because it takes 13 or 14 years to see if it works. because you can't implement it in 2 years, test your high school students and say, oh, we have wonderful results. And I think that that's very hard for us as a society and as a country to wait that long, which is why we just went to, okay, everybody has to implement it this year regardless of the grade level. And that's a drawback because that puts teachers and students in a difficult situation.
Common Core does lend itself to more testing because it does have that open-ended thinking and that higher level thinking. So we have to figure out different ways to assess that because it's more abstract. It's not, they can't just give us a multiple choice answer. They have to be able to explain themselves. So it does lend itself to more and different testing, but it doesn't necessarily have to be that way. And unfortunately, especially with children and with teaching, we don't have the most perfect testing in place right away.
We need to change fundamentally the way that we do education, and the way we need to change it is in the direction of what the classic education was, a liberal arts education, combined with utilitarian style concepts of, real practical knowledge, things like architecture or gardening or martial arts.
We're throwing out the baby with the bathwater. We have this set of standards. We don't have to do the standardized testing that goes along with them. We don't have to buy the prepackaged curriculum. We don't have to do all of these things that these corporations want us to do. There's a target on our public education system, and these corporations are trying to wheedle their way in to extract a profit out of our children. And we should stop that.